Good morning, evening, afternoon, everyone. My name is Mark,
And I'm Zoe.
and we are the Board Adventurers, back to you with another fresh off the shelf. Today, we're going to talk about the 1 to 2 cooperative player game, Kinfire Delve, specifically Callous Lab, designed by Kevin Wilson and published by Incredible Dream. In Kinfire Delve, you're going to first set up by taking the master of the dungeon. So you're going to pick one of these 3 cards. You're going to put it face down on the table. You're going to set aside the gauntlet cards here. This is going to be set for later. You're going to take the well card, which is a deck of green here. You're going to deal 1 out to each side of Callous, so orthogonally left, right, up, and down. You're going to discard the first 3 cards of the well. Personally, so if you're playing with a 2-player, each of you is going to take one of the decks. So this is one of the seekers of the game. You're going to take the seeker with their person and their lantern, and the lantern is going to be face down. You're going to set it up in front of you. You're going to take the deck and you're going to shuffle it. If you have only 1 seeker in this game, you're only going to draw 8 cards. If you have 2 seekers, you're going to draw 7. So you basically set up then for this game. So how does this work? So in the game, you as a collective group have 10 health. So you'll set that to this die. You are going to take on challenges to the left and the right of the master card. So there's 3 different types of cards. So there's red, green, and blue. And they're different types. They're puzzles, combats, monsters, a whole bunch of things. You are going to take your hand. So we say you have draw 7. And you're going to look at your hand. The hand that you have is going to dictate what kind of challenges you can attempt. So on your turn, you're going to pick one of the challenges, and you're going to play a card from your hand matching the color. The color is going to tell you that's the type of challenge you can create. And then if you have someone else in the game with you, they can boost your action. When you want to boost, you're going to look at the very bottom of the card. That's the color that you can boost. So anything that's white, let's say if I go to white, white can boost any color. It'd be a wild color. You're going to then attempt the challenge, and then you're going to roll the 4 die here. 3 of the die have the 3 colors, so red, blue, and green. And the other one has a white and black symbol on there. White is a wild success, and black is a wild fail. After you've attempted the challenge, you're now going to look at the card specifically. I'm going to use this as an example. So you're going to look at the top number here. You're going to add chips to this based on the attempt that you have. If the number that you have total is less than the top left number, you failed the challenge, and you're going to take the skull area here, which is sometimes going to be damage, sometimes going to be card discard. You might have no effect depending on the card. But if you somehow if you exceed the number, or you match the number, or you exceed it, you successfully finish this challenge, and you'll take the trophy symbol here, which is a success. And that's typically the delve portion. So what does the trophy mean? So there's an arrow on these cards for when you win that let you delve into the deck. So this inherently is like the tracker for the game, is like the timer for the game. So if I delve 3, that means I'll take the top 3 cards from the deck and I'll discard them. And I'm now delving further down into the deck. Once the deck is done, you're going to be able to fight the master of the scenario, taking those gauntlet cards that you have. You're going to flip them to the other side, and you're going to put them on the 4 orthogonal. You cannot attack the master in the center. You'll flip it over once you're at the bottom, until you've opened up these cards, or you've finished the challenges on some of these cards or all of the cards. So like, say for example, this one, right? This blue card, the master is invulnerable to all the colors until each of these cards is flipped over. They're vulnerable then to that specific color. One of the cards in this game specifically is that this card cannot be, you can't complete the Master's Challenge without winning this challenge. So this one has to be prior to you finishing the other one. The only other thing I haven't mentioned in this game is if you have a card, you have a hand again of 7 cards. You're going to keep playing cards, but you're not going to keep drawing them as the game goes on. If at any point you can't play a challenge, or you have no cards in your hand whatsoever, you're going to have to take an exhaust. So you're going to have a deck of 6 cards, and they have pretty wild effects. You'll take a card, you'll resolve the card, and then you'll draw back up to your hand limit. In regarding just the lantern. So the lantern is a special card that has a one-time use whenever you use it, whenever you can activate the lantern. So there's a card in your deck that will activate your lantern. You can then use that as an action once, and then it'll flip back. Other than that, that's really how you play Kinfire Delve, Callous Lab. What do you think?
Yeah, so Kinfire Delve is a game that kind of surprised me. The main thing that surprised me about this, usually with these co-op games, the replayability factor of these are usually pretty low. And I think the replayability factor of Kinfire Delve, specifically this set, is pretty high. Part of it is the game is so difficult, but also winnable. And it's challenging you to not only like learn your deck as you play through the game, but kind of learn best scenarios to defeat the boss, different bosses as well. But also the delve-in aspect of the game, it does it in a way that you don't see the enemy deck, all of it throughout the game.
Right.
So when you play different times, you're going to be fighting different things. Which I really like. It makes the replayability of this more like pretty interesting.
Yeah, because like you're almost discarding maybe like 2/3 of the deck as you're playing this. Right? As you're going through.
And the cards that are around the Callous impacts each other. So it's a different feel based off the combination of the cards around the Callous. So just the replayability factor of this game is pretty good. They make a wild kind of comparison. That's not even a board game comparison. It kind of reminds me of Dark Souls, if anyone ever played those games, which is like a video game in which it's like incredibly difficult, and you're almost kind of like, how do you even beat this? And as you play more, you just over time learn how to play it, and it becomes incredibly rewarding because of how difficult it is.
I see.
And this kind of gives me that feel as you're playing it. You're like, how do I do this without even going through my hand? How do I even get to the boss? How do I defeat the boss? And then after a while, it becomes rewarding. So that's where I am with it. What about you?
If you watch watched our top 10 of last year, you'll see that was on that list. I really enjoyed this game a lot. I played it solo first. I played through each of the 2 seekers in this deck. So one is more like kind of like heavy range. I get like, not really like a range, but like uses the arrows to kind of deal damage. Whereas the other one kind of deals with a lot of boosting, because at the very bottom of the other seeker, a lot of his boosting is white. So he's kind of like almost an assist, but he also does kind of like tricky stuff. I really like the way the 2 function, and they each have actually their even own effect. So like for the girl, whenever you play any card with an arrow symbol here, you can add progress to another challenge that you're not even working on. So you're actually lowering now the bar for all the other cards that your partner can help possibly go for too. And then whereas the other guy he lets you help draw cards out. So if he can get, you don't ever your exhaust is much less now because you're drawing cards out and refreshing a lot. There's like going into what you said, the replayability is great with this. You're not going to see the same cards every game. There was a game we played where we had run into 2 of the 3 triplets in this game, and that kind of stalled us out, and we ended up losing that game because of it. Just because we never dealt with the triplets. that was a bad choice. But there's cards in here that like give you almost end game losing conditions if you don't complete them. There's ones where it's like if you have to discard cards, you discard more than one. There's a lot of things that they add in here that add a lot of like panic into this game.
Yeah.
But it makes it overcoming that even like an even better feeling.
100%.
Yeah.
The only con I have for this that I could think of, and it's not that big of a con, is because I know there's different Kinfire Delve sets. There's like 3 out right now.
And Chronicles.
Yeah.
Which I think has these characters in that Chronicles.
I was going to say, I wish these sets came with more than just 2 characters. Because the characters are so specific. It's very asymmetrical in terms of how each character plays. And I wish there was more to play around with per set instead of just a 2, especially if you're playing this as a 2-player game instead of a solo.
Yeah.
It would be nice to play around with different combinations of characters per boss.
Yeah.
But that's very minimal because it's a very on a cheaper end too.
Yeah. I think I got this for like $20 at PAX, which was like, to me, that's an insane price for like this quality of a game. Yeah, I guess going to quality, like the cards, like I don't talk about cards typically, but like I just love the look of them.
Yeah, the art is good.
Yeah.
It feels nice. All the components, there's not a ton of components in the game, but the components that are in there are very high quality components.
Yeah, I'm very impressed.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. With that being said, where do you fall on Kinfire
On a
Delve?
review scale, for Kinfire Delve, right now I am at a 4. But I could be persuaded higher to a 4.5, but I'm settling at a 4. I am not a co-op guy. I'm just not. But I do enjoy this. And I do enjoy and I also don't like really hard co-ops either. I feel sometimes they're brutal for no reason. But this one actually works for me in terms of its difficulty level because the game is asking you to learn the game more.
I see.
But that's where I'm at with this. I'm at 4. I love the replayability. I love how simple but yet complex it is.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, I think for me, I love hard co-op games. I love getting, to be honest, beat down by a hard like this. Actually, now that I think about it, this slightly reminds me of Ghost Stories, where it's like the game is like kind of like trying to compress you as much as you can. You're trying to break out and just like accomplish the very end goal, like at the very last minute.
Yeah.
And this game can be played in like 20, 30 minutes max. It's a very fast game, and like right now this is kind of where like the time period is, like especially during a weeknight type of thing. I really enjoyed Kinfire Delve. I'm coming down at a 4.5 on this.
Nice. Wow.
This is definitely one of my favorite co-op games right now.
Good stuff.
And I'm kind of slightly kicking myself for not backing the Chronicles. I might have to go back and see if I can
Get
find
in the Pledge
that.
Manager?
Yeah, but that's another issue. All right, so that is our review of Kinfire Delve. Let us know if you played it. Let us know if you played the other ones, if you recommend those to us. We are the Board Adventurers. I'm Mark.
I'm Zoe.
We'll see you on the next adventure.